An Erios original.
Hello, and welcome to Webcrawlers, the podcast where we do a deep dive into the weirdest, strangest, and most mysterious corners of the internet. I'm Allie Siegel.
And I'm Melissa Stettin.
And who are our patrons this week?
We've got Cheryl and Kristen.
Welcome to the team, guys. We are excited to have you. Melissa.
Yes.
What are we getting into today?
Well, we're continuing our food scams weeks.
I was like, it's not Scamuary anymore.
It's Scam You April.
Scam You April.
And today we're going to talk about the McDonald's hot coffee thing.
I am so excited.
That happened back in 1994.
I remember this like it was yesterday.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, because you were alive. I was alive.
Yeah, because I was born in 86. What were you?
84.
Yeah, so we were young, but I remember this happening because it was on the news and
Yes,
stuff.
it was on the news, and everyone watched the news in the 90s.
That was a thing. Yeah, the morning news.
The
Always
news.
on.
So, back in 1994, there was a news story that was dominating the headlines.
Exactly.
It was about a woman who sued McDonald's because her coffee was too hot.
Piping hot.
And the story was that she had the cup between her legs and was driving, and it spilled on her, and she got like minor burns because she made a dumb mistake. That was like what all the news was. She
Crazy.
became like a punchline. And the whole narrative was that she was just some scamming old lady looking to make money from like a frivolous lawsuit where she was awarded $2 million. It spawned tons of jokes about people suing for ridiculous reasons. There's a clip of, is this Craig Kilborn, where he's talking about...
Craig Kilborn?
Was it Craig, or who is...
Any minute they waste on this frivolous lawsuit, they're not able to waste on other frivolous lawsuits. Like, oh, my coffee was too hot. It's coffee.
The woman, she purchased the coffee and she spilled it on herself. I mean, it wasn't like the McDonald's employee took the coffee, threw it on her. Now, that in itself, then she would have had a lawsuit.
It's just people just are greedy and want money, and they'll do anything to get it.
And that's a clip from the
Craig
documentary
Ferguson.
Hot Coffee. Craig Ferguson.
Yes. There is a Craig Kilborn. I just looked him up. He's like a political commentator and sports commentator.
Oh, well, Craig Ferguson. I used to love Craig Ferguson.
I love Craig Ferguson.
Yeah. What happened to Craig
Yeah.
Ferguson?
I don't know, but yeah, Craig
What's
Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson up to?
That's a great question.
Just a little quick goog. Craig Ferguson, still alive. He's 60 years old. Still kicking around. Anyway, so yeah, it was on like all the late night shows. Like this woman suing, spilling coffee on her, and everyone's like, "What a stupid lady!" That's
And she's
so
a punchline.
stupid.
I will say the one thing that is stupid, and I'm pro this lady, and we'll
Yes.
get more into it as the episode
Yeah.
goes on. Driving with hot coffee in between your legs, not the smartest thing, no matter how hot the coffee is.
Well, was she driving?
Oh, okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay.
But the reality
too
of this
soon.
case is quite different. Yes, driving with coffee between your legs is stupid. But so Stella Liebeck, she was a 79-year-old woman living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. On February 27th, 1992, her nephew drove her to a McDonald's. They went through the drive-thru for a 49-cent cup of coffee. 49 cents.
Insane.
That's how much it should be still.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's how much it should be still. Maria was texting us about how she bought iced coffee. It was like $6 for an iced coffee.
Girl, an Alfred's iced coffee, like an Alfred's iced vanilla latte is like $11.
$11?
Yeah, if you get
Get
oat
outta
or almond
here.
milk. An iced latte these days, you can't afford it.
And it's less coffee because they put ice in the cup.
Yeah, and so much milk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's barely any coffee. It's a scam.
Yeah.
It's a scam. It's a scam.
In itself, yeah.
So Stella was in the passenger seat of her nephew's 1989 Ford Probe.
That's a car?
My friend used to have one of those. It's like a long, skinny car. I think it's on like a 2-door, like sports type of car.
I like it.
Yeah. It didn't have cup holders. Did not have
It's
cup
a sexual
holders.
name. Oh, well, that's important to know.
Ford Probe, yes. And so I was looking up, I was like, well, when were cup holders a thing? They weren't popular until the early 1980s.
Oh, interesting.
Like the Dodge minivan was the first to have built-in cup holders.
That makes sense for all the kids you got to cart around to soccer practice.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, because my first car, Toyota Tercel, did not have cup holders. I had to buy one to like clip into the air vent.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah, they didn't have cup holders.
Oh
So
my God.
they picked up their coffee. Her nephew parked the car. Dun, 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 dun. Twist. There's a twist you didn't see coming. Stella, they parked in the McDonald's parking lot. Stella put the coffee between her legs so she could add cream and sugar.
Oh, I've done that. I mean,
Yeah.
who among us hasn't done
And
that?
then she pulled the lid off and it splashed on her. It spilled.
Oof.
Like it was maybe on there too tight or like, I don't know, whatever. Something
Totally. Yeah,
happened.
it happens. Yeah.
She was wearing sweatpants and they absorbed the coffee. So it was held against her skin, her like burning her thighs, her butt, her groin.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. So she was not driving. That's the narrative, was that she was driving
That's fucked
and
up.
that she's an idiot. She wasn't even driving. She was
That's fucked.
just sitting in the car. So she went into shock and was taken to an emergency room at the hospital where it was determined that she suffered 3rd-degree burns on 6% of her skin.
And that's like the worst kind, right?
Yeah,
like
3rd
it
degree
goes
is the
1,
worst
2,
kind.
3. 3's the bad. Okay.
Yeah, and then lesser burns over 16% of her body.
Oh my God.
She was in the hospital for 8 days and she had to undergo skin grafting.
Oh.
Like if you look up the pictures of this,
No thanks.
it's bad. It is.
So-
It's like looks like she was in a fire. Like it's
16 plus 6, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22% of her body was
Yes.
burned.
because she's like a tiny old lady. So it's like half of her
Holy
thighs,
shit.
like her butt, like her. It's just
Oh, this is
whew.
nauseating. Oh my God.
It's so bad. So during this period, while she was in the hospital, she lost 20 pounds,
oh my God.
which is 20% of her body weight. And so she
Shit.
only weighed 83 pounds when she got out of the hospital. And then after the hospital, she needed care for 3 weeks because she could not
course.
move.
Yeah.
And so her daughter provided that care for her. And she suffered permanent disfigurement after the incident and was partially disabled for 2 years.
I mean, think about it, how many people this affected. This affected her, and then her daughter probably had to take off work in order to take
Yeah.
care of her.
Yeah. So she wanted money from McDonald's. She wanted to settle with them.
Yeah,
She
of course.
acknowledged that the spill was her fault. She's not saying it was the cup. What she took issue with was that it was so hot. It was 190 degrees near
That's
boiling
insane.
point. What is boiling? Like 210, 212 is like boiling water. That it caused 3rd-degree burns, nearly killing her and requiring extensive surgery to treat. And she didn't want to go to court. She had her family write a letter to McDonald's asking to cover medical expenses.
Totally reasonable.
And she just wanted McDonald's to settle and pay her $20,000. That's all she wanted. It was $10,500 for the actual medical expenses, which seems very cheap. I guess if she had insurance, $10,000 seems low for like a 8-day hospital stay.
Well, what is it? Like Medicare, Medi-Cal, or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's pretty good, I guess, for
And 25, or I think it was $15K for future medical expenses and her daughter's loss of income of $5,000
right.
for a total of $20,000. McDonald's offered $800.
Please. That's what McDonald's probably makes in half an hour at one franchise.
if that. Like they better make way more than that. It's crazy
That's
how I looked up
insane.
how much they made in coffee sales, and we'll get to that later because it's insane.
That is so fucked up.
Yeah, so McDonald's refused to raise its offer. Stella was like, "Oh, okay, it's on, bitches."
Good for her.
So she got a lawyer, Reed Morgan. He filed suit in the U.S. District Court of New Mexico, accusing McDonald's of gross negligence for selling coffee that was unreasonably dangerous and defectively manufactured. And then again, McDonald's refused to settle for $90,000. He's like, okay, well, we'll raise it to $90,000. And the lawyer came back and was like, okay, $300,000. Like he raised what he wanted to sue them for. McDonald's refused again. They're like, no, we're not paying you. In the words of Julia Roberts, big mistake.
Big mistake. Huge. It says here hot beverages such as tea, hot chocolate, and coffee are frequently served between 150 and 170 degrees. I mean, 170 still feels steep, but
so McDonald's
yeah,
was
I mean,
190.
190. Yeah,
that's too
you're
hot.
up there.
That's too hot.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that they didn't settle because McDonald's is worth $204 billion as of today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, $20,000, you're not gonna settle? It's so I guess they thought they could win.
190 degrees is simmering water.
Yeah.
So it's like pre-boil, like your
Yeah.
water's at a simmer.
Yeah. It's
insane.
too hot. It's too hot. Everyone's crazy.
Even
Everyone's
if
crazy.
you didn't spill it and you took a sip of it, you would
you'd burn
burn,
your tongue.
you would get third-degree burns on your tongue.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no justification for
It's
it.
so stupid. So they went to trial, and the trial took place from August 8th to 17th in 1994. So during the case, Stella's attorneys discovered that McDonald's required franchisees to keep the coffee at 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. And so Stella's attorneys argued that coffee should never be served hotter than 140 degrees. And that a bunch of other restaurants served coffee at a substantially lower temperature than McDonald's. McDonald's was
Lower
like the
than
highest.
190. Yeah.
And the attorneys presented evidence that the coffee they had tested all over the city was served at a temperature at least 20 degrees lower than McDonald's coffee.
Yes.
And they also presented the jury with expert testimony that 190 degree coffee may produce third degree burns, where you need skin grafting, in about 3 seconds. If you have 190 degree coffee on you in 3 seconds, you'll get third degree burns. If the coffee is at 180 degrees, it'll produce the same burns in 12 to 15 seconds. So you could spill it on you, but you wipe it off immediately and you're fine if it's 180 degrees. And then lowering it to 160 degrees would increase the time for the coffee to produce a burn to 20 seconds. So you have more time to wipe it off of you.
Right.
So Stella's attorneys argue that these extra seconds could provide adequate time to remove the coffee from exposed skin, thereby preventing burns.
Which, makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. So McDonald's claimed that the reason they serve their coffee so hot through its drive-through windows is that those who purchased the coffee typically were commuters who wanted to drive a distance with the coffee. That was their excuse.
Right.
So they said the high initial temperature would keep the coffee hot during the trip. However, that's just what they claimed. However, it turns out McDonald's did some research finding that most customers actually drink the coffee immediately while driving. That's not true.
Also, if you're a trucker, for example, and you're going a long distance, that's on you. Bring a thermos or something and pour the coffee into a thermos.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If you have to wait to drink it for it to cool down.
Then it's going to be cold by then.
And it's going to be cold by then. So why not just serve it when you can drink it immediately?
Yeah.
Stupid. But that's what everyone was like, no, we drink it immediately.
Right.
Your research is wrong.
I love that they bring in people who just drink coffee and they to testify.
I would love to be like, yeah, I like
Yeah, that's not how I drink it.
Yeah, immediately. I want my coffee now.
Stat.
Gotta
get my Java.
Don't talk to me till I've had my coffee.
I've had my coffee.
Well, I want one of those t-shirts.
Yeah. We'll make them. We should make them. That should be our merch.
Yeah. Also, McDonald's apparently knew that their coffee temperature was unsafe.
Uh-oh.
Other documents obtained from McDonald's showed that from 1982 to 1992, the company had received more than 700 reports of people being burned by McDonald's coffee.
Oh my God.
And they had already settled claims from scalding injuries for more than $500,000. So they were already getting lawsuits and settling.
Oh my God. So that's so easy for negligence. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it even crazier that they didn't settle with Stella.
Yeah.
So then McDonald's quality control manager, Christopher Appleton, he testified, and there's video of this, that the amount of injuries was insufficient to cause the company to evaluate the temperature. In an interview, he said he was glad the number wasn't higher and he was pleased it was only 700 people.
How about 0?
He argued that all food hotter than 130 degrees constituted a burn hazard and that restaurants had more important dangers to worry about. Like, it's crazy. This guy in his deposition, he's like, yeah, 700. He's like, yeah, I'm pleased. It's not more. Like, that's so many people.
That's only the 700 that sued.
Yeah.
Or contacted them.
Yeah. This guy is crazy.
Yeah.
And then, so Stella's lawyers argued that Chris Appleton basically admitted that McDonald's coffee would burn the mouth and throat if consumed immediately when served. They're like, he admitted it.
It's fucking dope. Oh, imagine a 3rd degree throat burn.
Oh, what? Oh. How? That's crazy. How do you even?
How do you?
Ugh. I'm sure that happens a lot. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's why I drink ice cold.
Yeah, I like it. Ice cold.
So we have the verdict. So prior to the trial, most of the jury believed Stella was just trying to sue McDonald's as a frivolous lawsuit.
Oh, come on.
But after hearing the case, they all changed their minds.
Good.
So the jury reached the verdict on August 18th, and they only deliberated for 4 hours. It's never a good sign.
If they were drinking hot coffee while they deliberated.
Yeah. They found that McDonald's was 80% responsible for the incident, and Stella was 20% at fault. Which, whatever, I guess.
Okay, sure.
Though there was a warning on the coffee cup, the jury decided that the warning was neither large enough nor sufficient. So I guess it was warning hot coffee, on the bottom, I think.
So then that's the only way that the 80-20 makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But it should be boiling hot coffee.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be hot coffee because
Yeah.
you're ordering hot coffee.
Yeah.
It should be dangerously hot coffee.
So they awarded Stella $200,000 in compensatory damages, which was reduced by 20% to $160,000. And then in addition, they awarded her $2.7 million in punitive damages minus 20%. And I never really knew the difference between compensatory and so compensatory is used to cover the cost of the accident. So $200,000 for medical and whatever future care. And then punitive damages are meant to punish the defendant.
Copy that.
To help them change behavior and send a message to the other companies.
That makes sense. I always wondered that because I had a girlfriend who sued her boss for sexual assault. And
yeah,
I don't know if you know her. Yeah. And the compensatory was $10,000 or something.
Right.
And then the punitive was $11 million. And I was wait.
Crazy.
Yeah. I was how are these numbers?
That.
I know. And I was how are these numbers?
Shit.
Yeah, he assaulted a lot of women.
Yeah.
And I was how are these numbers so different? I'm so confused. But now that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So the jurors chose this amount because it's McDonald's coffee revenue for 2 days. they make $1.35 million per day on coffee.
Oh, that's crazy given that at this time the coffee was like 45 cents.
Yeah. And $1.35 million per day, which now I'm sure it's like, triple that or whatever, quadruple that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. So the judge reduced the punitive damages to $480,000 from $2.7 million. The judge reduced it. I don't know why. So she made a total of $640,000. And so she, McDonald's and Stella both appealed that amount because Stella wanted all of the money awarded to her and McDonald's didn't want to pay anything. But the actual amount she got is unknown because both parties settled out of court for an undisclosed amount.
Interesting.
So no one really knows, but it's speculated that she got under $600,000.
Really?
Yeah. That's what everyone kind of thinks.
I think it would be like $1 million.
Yeah, you would think.
Because that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. Let's take a quick break for announcements. Webcrawlers has a Patreon. To get access to bonus episodes, shout-outs, merch discounts, and more, please go to patreon.com/webcrawlers. You can donate as little as $2 a month to become one of our bimbo patrons. Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. If you give us a 5-star review, we will shout you out. And Erios has a hotline. Insert jingle here.
626-604-6262.
Please continue to call us, tell us a secret, answer a prompt, tell us whatever you'd like, and we will play you on our mailbag episodes. Now, back to our program.
What's interesting is like the public's view of this. Like, why was it that Stella was so in the wrong?
They hate women.
What's crazy is McDonald's lawyers spent years running disinformation campaign, which the media then bought into, using this lawsuit as an example of like this new epidemic of frivolous lawsuits.
Yeah.
Like that was a thing in the 90s, was like everyone's personal injury
suing.
lawyers, everyone's trying to make money. It was based on McDonald's hired a PR company to do that.
That's so fucked.
Like ABC News called the case the poster child of excessive lawsuits. There were tons of news stories that were about like jackpot justice and predatory trial lawyers and lawsuit lottery. So companies have used all sorts of ways to keep consumers out of the courtroom. Like all the news stories said she was driving, she was trying to take the lid off at the same time, she wasn't paying attention. And in this hot coffee documentary, they interviewed people on the street and everyone was like, oh, it's her fault. But then they showed photos of her injuries and everyone was like, oh my God, I had no idea.
It's like, even if she was juggling the coffee, it shouldn't have been that hot.
It
doesn't matter.
On her head.
Yes.
Shouldn't have been
like,
that hot.
If she had taken a sip of it, let's say she wasn't even opening it, she would have been like hugely injured.
Yeah. So McDonald's claims that the outcome of the case was a fluke, and they attributed the loss to poor communications and strategy by this unfamiliar insurer representing a franchise. They're like, oh, it's just this franchise has shitty insurance and it was whatever.
What franchise? It was somewhere in
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Oh, got it. Yeah.
So Stella's attorney, Reed Morgan, and the Association of Trial Lawyers of America defended the result by claiming that McDonald's reduced the temperature of its coffee after the suit. Although that's not the case. It's confusing. Like there's so many different reports of like they did reduce or they didn't reduce. But apparently they have not reduced the service temperature. Their current policy is to serve coffee at 176 to 194 degrees.
Excuse you? What?
Yeah, and they rely on more sternly worded warnings on cups made of rigid foam to avoid future liability.
McDonald's coffee cup.
Although they continue to face lawsuits over hot coffee. So Starbucks sells their coffee at 175 to 185. But at the end of this hot coffee documentary from 2011, it said McDonald's holding temperature is 10 degrees cooler. But if you Google it, it says 180. That's kind of what I found.
I'm trying to find where the warning is. I want to see. It says, watch yourself. Heat is a key ingredient.
I don't think I've ever gotten McDonald's coffee. I don't know what the caution content's very hot. I mean, yeah, they all have that.
Warning, this coffee tastes bad.
Warning, this coffee tastes like shit.
Yeah, warning, this coffee isn't good.
Yeah, they now do like, it's not, is it styrofoam cups? I don't think it's styrofoam. I think it's paper cups with like the black lid.
Oh, I guess that they're...
I feel like that's what all coffee is now. I don't think they do styrofoam anymore. Maybe they do.
It says that there was a Seinfeld episode spoofing this.
There's a Seinfeld episode where Kramer he brings coffee, I think, into a movie, or he like puts his coffee cup in his pants to hide it, to go into the movie. And then when he's sitting down, the coffee spills all over him.
That's
and
funny.
He gets his lawyer to sue McDonald's, and right before they were going to offer him money, Kramer settled for like free coffee for life, and his lawyer's like, "No, you idiots!" He's like, "I'll take it."
That's
free coffee
really
for
funny.
life. So he kept like going there and drinking coffee like 10 times a day, and he was like all like hyped up off of free coffee.
Was there a cleaning solution in McDonald's coffee?
Cleaning solution? Oh, there was. When I was looking up other lawsuits, some woman said that she got coffee and it was a cleaning solution that burned her throat.
Oh.
And she claims that when she ordered it through the drive-thru, she overheard the employee saying like, oh, they were cleaning the coffee machine at the time. And it was like cleaning chemicals.
McDonald's apologizes to woman for serving her cleaning solution instead of coffee.
Sorry, you drank bleach.
Yeah. Oh my God. They didn't even literally serve her coffee. It was just a cup of cleaning solution.
Oh no. Yeah, because I guess you have the lid on.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh God.
Oh my God. That's insane. The latte machine was served up to it was attached to the cleaning fluid and not milk. And so she just got a cleaning solution latte.
Oh, gross. That'll take a couple of years off your life.
Yeah, I'm scared. Well, that Trump probably thinks that cures COVID.
Oh no.
Trump's like, she's
bleach,
healthier than ever. Yeah.
Insert it in the body.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I guess it's still 180 degrees at least.
That's bizarre.
Because the coffee temperature you make at home is between 135 and 140 degrees. I guess that's what like home coffee makers.
And that's fine for me.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine.
I don't need it any hotter than that usually.
Yeah. And then I read this on Vox. This University of Washington professor, Michael McCann, said the last several decades, large corporations afraid of being sued for making unsafe products created front groups like Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse to turn public opinion against lawsuits. But the best social evidence shows that the number of personal injury lawsuits in recent decades has declined, and the median payout is only $55,000. So people aren't suing willy-nilly.
Right.
Like, it's not like a thing that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to spend their time and money just suing for no reason, or
No.
most people.
Well, some people do,
Well, yeah.
but whatever. And then, so this documentary, Hot Coffee, it's mostly about this thing called tort reform, which is this thing I didn't know it was a thing. I tried to understand what it was.
Well, I'm excited for you to explain it.
Oh boy. It's a movement to limit the amount of money the injured can receive in a lawsuit. Like it's a cap for damages.
Okay.
So the most common example in congressional hearings of why tort reform was needed is the McDonald's hot coffee case.
Oh.
Like they use this as an example of why tort reform needs to be a thing.
Interesting.
So back in the 90s, it passed the Senate, but then Clinton vetoed it. Oh. So then corporate America went to the state legislators to try to pass the law. Like they wanted to implement a cap on how much civilians could sue, which is bad for us. It's great for corporations, but bad for us. So there's this thing called the American Tort Reform Association putting out ads to stop frivolous lawsuits. It's a PR firm called Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse, which is made to look like it's run by citizens and business owners, but it's not. It's not. It's only run by PR firms. They call it Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. So, and of course, George Bush signed the cap on financial damages because he loves corporations.
Yeah.
So Bush was saying doctors can't run their practices from getting sued, and people can't get medical care. He's like, there's cities without OBGYNs because people are suing all the doctors for millions of dollars. So people were like in the streets picketing for tort reform.
I understand the fear of like people being sued for medical stuff.
Yes.
You know, hot coffee feels like a different story. Like suing a corporation feels different from like suing a hospital, because I think there probably is frivolous lawsuits against hospitals. Like, sometimes doctors do their best and they can't save someone's life or something like that. I think there are a lot of, literally I'm speaking from watching like Grey's Anatomy, so don't listen to anything I'm saying. But like sometimes there's episodes of Grey's Anatomy or like New Amsterdam where a family will sue the hospital because, you know, the patient died and the hospital's like, we did everything we could. Like there's nothing we could have done to change the outcome. But then you see these documentaries about, you know, like nurses who are killing people.
Like Dr. Death.
Yeah, like Dr. Death. And like or like negligence in those cases, obviously sue the hospital. But corporations
so that's why,
sue
like,
them.
This tort reform thing, it's like complicated because it's like it's good for some things, it's bad for other things. Yeah. And in this hot coffee documentary, it's really interesting. An example they used was that like there's a cap if it's like a medical suit and someone needs like $5 million. Like there's this family this woman had twins and she gave birth to twins, but she thought something was wrong with one of the twins before, like it wasn't moving as much. And I guess the OBGYN was like, thought there were 2 placentas when there was only 1. And they're like, you need a C-section immediately. And like one of the twins was born fine, but the other one had like no oxygen for 8 minutes. And it was born with like a lot of problems. And it needs, this kid needs full-time care for the rest of its life. And so they went to court, and this doctor turned out had been sued for malpractice a couple times.
Oh, fuck.
So the jury awards this family $5 million. And that's what they wanted.
They should.
They're like, we need this for the rest of, like, when long-term we're gone, care. Who's going to care for our kid? But it turns out the cap in that state was $1 million.
Oh, fuck that shit.
So what happens is they get $1 million, but then when that money's gone, this person has to go on Medicaid, and then the taxpayers have to pay it instead of the doctor or the insurance. So that's a case
bullshit
where a cap is bad.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
It's really a complicated issue.
Yeah, if it's like a negligent or bad doctor, for sure, like sue the fuck out of them. Oh, it's so complicated.
Yeah, it's crazy. But then, so Stella Liebeck, she died August 5th, 2004 at the age of 91. Oh. But according to her daughter, the burns and the court proceedings had taken their toll on her. Yeah. And like the years following the settlement, she had no quality of life. And she said the settlement did pay for a live-in nurse for the rest of her life. But
I mean, it's a shame that like that's what the settlement had to pay for and not like a vacation to Tahiti.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I chose that. Yeah, but like, you know, it just sucks.
Yeah. But this reminded me of the Wendy's finger in the chili thing back.
Which I haven't heard of, so please school me on that.
I swear, I think we mentioned it like a couple years ago.
I mean, it's possible.
But I don't remember. So in 2005, Anna Ayala was dining at San Jose Wendy's when she claimed that she chomped down on a partially cooked segment of human finger.
I don't like it.
I remember hearing about this because the fast food chain suffered an estimated $21 million in lost business. Like, people were not going to
Yeah,
Wendy's.
I'm not trying to go there.
Turns out her husband, Jamie, got the severed finger from a coworker. It's a real
I do remember
finger.
this. I do remember
Lost
this.
it in like a work accident. They both pleaded guilty, and Anna was sentenced to 9 years in prison, but was released after 4 years on good behavior.
Well, that's good. Good finger
And she's not
behavior.
allowed to step back, foot back into a Wendy's. And when she got out of prison, she did an interview with CBS 5, and she apologized to the food chain and revealed a deep secret. She said, "I cooked it." She said she prepared the piece of finger at her Las Vegas home, then drove it to San Jose where she dropped it into the chili. So she...
This woman is mentally ill. It's disgusting.
She said the prisoners and even guards ridiculed her and called her names.
Yeah, I would too.
I wonder what her nicknames were.
Chili fingers.
Chili fingers.
Yeah.
Fingers. Let's call
Anna
her
Chili Fingers Ayala. This is disgusting.
She said, "I learned my lesson and I just want to move on with my life." No, girl.
Sorry, you can't just move on after cooking a finger and plopping it in chili.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I just Googled chili finger recipes. No, I just Googled most interesting food lawsuits of all time.
Oh.
Barilla Pasta was sued for false advertising because their slogan was Italy's #1 brand of pasta, and it's not produced anywhere near Italy. So I guess someone sued.
My God.
So stupid. Canada Dry was sued for the ginger content of their ginger ale.
What?
It didn't include enough ginger, apparently.
That's like, was a documentary you just watched about the kid getting the private jet or wanting to buy the private jet from
the Pepsi thing?
the Pepsi Points thing.
Yeah, the Pepsi Points. That was
they
good
put out a
talk.
commercial where they didn't put a little like
That it was like a joke.
that it was a joke that you could get what 1 million whatever points.
Yeah.
That was a great documentary.
Velveeta was sued for alleged cooking time. It says that it was ready in 3.5 minutes and it wasn't, so someone sued.
What?
That's crazy, the things that... Oh my God. McDonald's sued for McDonald's land creatures.
McDonald's
well, I heard
land?
about that. Oh, because they ripped them off from HR Puff and stuff. I remember this.
Oh, yeah.
They were like literally ripped. I mean, that's Slipknot versus Burger King. What is this?
Hell yeah.
Okay, in 2005, the metal band Slipknot was influential enough to inspire a Burger King ad, which led to a lawsuit, which led to a counter lawsuit all over chicken fries. Burger King got creative to promote chicken fries when they came out in 2005. Commercials featured a band that was surprisingly not suitable for work named Cock Rock. A SoundCloud what? A SoundCloud page for the band's 4 songs still exist. What really got the company into trouble was the look of the band members. Each performer wore a different style of chicken masks, and some of those masks look very similar to Slipknot's aesthetic, so they sued. That's insane. That's so stupid. They both dropped the lawsuits. That's from
funny.
thetakeout.com, by the way. Yeah, so I guess there's a lot of weird
This
stuff.
band looks so funny. Yeah, it's very similar to Slipknot.
Yeah.
People be suing.
People be suing. Well, guys, if you've ever sued a corporation or if you've ever found a finger in your chili,
Let
Melissa,
us know.
who among us hasn't? Melissa, where can people reach us?
You can email us at webcrawlerspod@gmail.com.
Well, anyways, I am Allie Slipknot Siegel.
I am Melissa Fingers Stetton.
Ew, nasty. And that's all, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Original.
Powered by Acast.